Hey everybody, it's David. Really quick, I wanted to dive into this video. It's really exciting. My friend JP from South Africa is going to teach us his method, a basic setup for those of you who are running lights live to music. And so he's going to talk through from launching the program, from launching MPC, how he likes to set things up for running things live. And I think it's really helpful and really insightful. So without further ado, let's hop over and talk to JP.
Welcome to LearnStageLighting.com. My name is JP and I'll be taking you step by step through our new tutorial called How to Set Up Your Show for Band Lighting. I just created a new show in MPC. After I've created a new show, the first step you need to take is to patch your fixtures. I'm just going to patch a few generic channels, a few LED park ends, and 2 moving heads. So you can patch your own fixtures. These fixtures are just for reference, and I actually don't have any fixtures around me. It's just for reference and to show you how everything works. So I'm going to add some Chevy slim bars. Let's add 4 of them. And let's add 2 Chevy R1 wash 14 channel. And let's add 2 of them. So if you open your fixture center, you'll be seeing all these names over here. And I like to rename my fixtures. On bigger shows, I like to rename them, like, for instance, stage wash left, stage wash center left, center right, and right. But for now, I'm just going to name it wash 1, 2, 3, and 4. The software numbers it for yourself, so no need to number them. You can just select all of them and type wash, then hit enter. For the slim bars, I'm going to call them LED 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for the moving wash, I'm going to call them moving wash. Alright, to color your fixtures, you can click on change, click on your fixtures, and click on the color you like. When this is done, you can close the patch. So the next thing I do is I create my preferred workspace and views. I'm not very fond of these views, so the first thing I do is create my own views. By doing this, you can unlock your workspace, click on Manage Workspaces, click on Add, type in your name. For now, I'm just going to call it Band Lighting. And then you've created your own workspace. The first view I like to add is the fixture center. Then you can save the view and just click on OK. Next thing is presets. You need to turn on the color over here, and then you can save the view. Then I like to add something called the cue list editor. It's not the right name, but just to keep it easier, I call it the cue list editor. So in my cue list editor view, I create a new empty screen. I split it into 2. On the left-hand side, I add the selected cue list view. And on the right-hand side, I add cue list values. Save the view, call it cue list. Oopsie. There we go. Cue list editor, and hit enter or click on OK. Next thing is FX program. Our friends over at Elation were so friendly to create the view already, so you can then click on choose existing screen, search for FX program, and add it in. Click on that, click anywhere on the screen to close the pop-up, and then click on the common parameters just to enlarge it, as I do not have enough space on my screen. save the view, hit enter. Then I add playback buttons. This is where you save all your cues and cue lists. And the last thing I add is one of the most important views, and that's the programmer, where you program your fixtures and can see them in the 2D plan. Add a new empty screen, split it in the middle, and then on the right hand side I split it in the middle again. At the top I add the fixture center. At the bottom I add presets. I turn the color on. And on the left hand side I add the 2D plan. Click on the view just to enlarge it. Click on save. Call it whatever you like. I prefer calling it programmer. And for now you can lock your workspace. Perfect. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to patch our fixtures to the 2D plan and create some groups. So the first thing you do is select all 4 of your washers. Click on the groups icon. Open up the small keypad, click on record. Click on one of the open blocks and call it wash. Anytime you need to rename it, you can just click on that group again and retype and then hit enter. So the next thing is the LEDs, the slim bars. Select all 4 of them, hit record, click on groups, add them in and call them your LEDs. The last thing will be your moving washers. Select both of them, click on record and add them in, and I'm just going to call them moving wash or R1 wash or whatever you like to call them. Clear out your programmer. Click on the live button on the 2D plan to change it to edit mode. Then you can go to your groups, or you can stay at your fixture center. I'm just going to go to groups to make it a bit easier. Click on my wash. I'm going to click on add. I'm going to use the line placement for now. Place my fixtures. The wash I'm going to place at the bottom because I'm referencing this as the front side of my stage. So just place them down by clicking, dragging your mouse and dropping them down. So let's move this just a little bit up, slightly up so we can see them. And then we can deselect them, select our LEDs, click on add and add them at the top, which will be the back of your stage. If you are referencing it the same as I am, then you can deselect them, click on your moving wash, click on add, click on place fixtures, and just the same as the previous. Click on it, drag it, and let go. Release the button, and there you have it. To add groups is actually quite easy. You can deselect everything. You can click on add. You can go over to groups, and then you can add your wash. Oh, still under line selection. And then click on your LEDs, your moving wash. You can select all of them and just place them wherever you like, or you can select them one by one. I just selected the last 2 now and add them in. Select all of them. Select all of them. Click a line, just align them to the right hand side. I'm going to go into options and just center them all out so they're straight up. And there all your fixtures are placed. Alright, so let's take the 2D plan out of edit mode. There you go. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create some presets to work on for our base. And presets are actually quite nice. If you record, let's say, 100 playbacks and something changes in your show, perhaps the pan tilt or one of the colors are a bit too harsh and you want to tone it down a bit or brighten up the intensity, you can work from your presets. So you've got your intensity preset, pan tilt preset, color preset, gobo preset, beam preset, beam effects preset, and framing preset. For today, we'll just work with intensity, pan tilt, and color. Alright, so the next thing is you can select all your fixtures. You can turn them up to 100%. As you can see, they're all turned to 100%. You can pull up your small keypad, click on record, click on your first open preset block. And I'm going to call it full as it is at 100%. That will be better known as full intensity or however you like to call it. Next, I'll change my intensity to 50%. Record 50%. And lastly, I'll record 0%. I'll call this 0. And then we can clear out, move over to color, and then you can just select your LEDs and your moving wash, as the generic wash does not have color and will not work very great if you try and record it there. So we can zero all of these out. As you can see, I just zeroed out red, green, and blue, and white is still gray and not red, so it's not active. So you'll need to zero out white as well. Let's turn them up to red and make sure everything has gone red. As you can see, they did. And let's record it to our color preset as red. Then we can do the same for green. Blue. Cyan. Magenta. And yellow. Perfect. Let's record RGB as well. That will be red, green, and blue. So you can call it white or RGB. I like to call it RGB as some fixtures like our wash has a separate white channel. Then we can just clear out the programmer. Just select our moving wash. Turn red, green, and blue to 0 and turn white to full. Record it and name it white. Then we can clear out, select it again, click on beam, click on center, so it'll be at 50%, hit record, record it, and we can call it center. And then we can record a wide at 48 degrees, so we can call it wide, and we can record a narrow. Alright, for now, I think that's that. If you want to, you can record in all the intensities and colors you like. I'll get to the pan tilt shortly because there's a few things I'd like to get over in the programmer. But let's just color our presets a bit. So you can click on the gear icon, click on change by preset color, and then you can click on full, make it white, click on 50, make it a bit less harsh for 50%, so take your slider halfway. And then for 0, you can just turn it black. Move over to color, click on red, green, and do this for all the colors. Just turn it down a little bit. There we go. And we can clear it out. Perfect. Let's get to the pan tilt. So I'm just going to record some intensity, just to show you that you can have some reference on the 2D plan. So let's call it, well, let's call it all on. Perfect. Clear that out. Then we can play this playback. Perfect. As you can see, all the fixtures has been lit white. Select your moving wash. Open up your programmer. Open up pan tilt. And then you can start moving around your fixtures by, let's tilt them a bit, by panning them or tilting them. So First center these out. You won't be able to see them. Then I'm going to tilt them forward. Record it as forward. Then I'm going to record a forward fan. So to fan your fixtures, you can fan both the attributes, pan or tilt. So I'm going to click on pan because I want to fan the pan attribute. Then move over to fanning and start by moving this little bar over here. As you can see, it's fanning on pan. So I'll fan them more to the center now. I'm going to record this as forward, forward, fanned in. Then we can swap that around and record a forward, fanned out. Let's make this keypad a bit smaller. Right, then we can fan it a bit out, hit record, and then forward, fanned out. Perfect. As you can see, it's recorded and renamed. Then what we can do is we can do a backwards record and then we can record a left. I'll center this out, just take it forward. I prefer working all my pan tilt presets one way round. So let's say all my forward presets will be forward and then pan them left, forward and then pan them right, forward and then fan them inwards. Otherwise the fixtures are going to move around unnecessary and it's not going to look very nice. That's just my word of advice. Everybody does it a bit different and add their own touch. So let's record this as left and then we can record a right. Perfect. So let's get to the physical layout of my show. My layout works as follow. I put all my intensities to my main playback faders, all my overrides on the second bank. That will be my specials, my strobes. Let's say my speeds, my color overrides, all that sort of stuff. And then on my playback buttons, I record all my colors, all my gobos, all my zoom and my focus. All that stuff go to my physical playback buttons. So I've already recorded a intensity. What you can do is you can record wash, full. You can add it to your main playback and say wash, intensity, clear out, select LEDs. LEDs intensity, clear out, and then your moving wash intensity. Perfect, so there you have it. So I can turn on, let's say if I just want the front wash, turn on the front wash and turn all these off. And you can see they have been turned on and these are off. As the RGB channels are at RGB is on currently, they'll still be emitting some light. So you can set this in the default view. You can make this your default preset, then you won't be seeing any output on the 2D plan. And as soon as you change the attribute, you'll be seeing them outputting. But the little open circle in the middle shows you that no intensity has been or is active, and you need to add some intensity there. So as you can see, if I turn the LEDs on, they line up. So let's clear that out. You can always change that in the default view, but for now let's get to programming and saving your playbacks and how I lay out my show. So what I do is I select my LEDs. I only do the color. So turn them red, go to my playback buttons, open my keypad, and then record. Let's just make sure what we just selected. Okay, we turn the LEDs red, so then we record all LEDs red. And then you can do this for green. So as I've named the first one, I'm not going to name all of them, all LEDs red. I'm just going to follow with green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, etc., etc., and etc. Just as you like, you can name them out fully. I just think this is a bit easier and a bit faster than naming all of them because I'll work in rows. Alright, there we go. Green, blue. Perfect. So I'm just going to clear that out. I'm just going to record red, green, and blue for now. You can create a bit more than that if you like. Then I'm going to select my moving wash, turn it red, record, moving wash, red, green, and blue. Clear that out. Then what I'm going to do is I normally record then my gobos and that sort of stuff. So this is just to quickly turn all your fixtures to one color. I then normally record LED 1 color red, playback buttons, record LED 1 red, then green, and then blue. So then I do this for all the consecutive fixtures. So that'll be LED 1 red, green, blue, LED 2 red, green, blue, etc., 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 etc. What all the colors you like, you can make them more than one row. And you can do mixed colors and all that sort of stuff. My show I'm setting up currently is for the busking type of show when you literally have to adapt to the music and do not know what's going to come next. So I'm just going to record this like that for now. Then you can select your moving wash, red, go to playback button. You're now going to record LED 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then moving wash 1 red, moving wash 1 red, and then green, and then blue. So then you can do this for moving wash 2 as well. Clear that out. And then I'm going to start doing all my mixed colors and all my, well, let's set it like that. If you want to do something like a red and green or a green and a blue, you can select, let's say, your LEDs, turn them green, select your washes, turn them blue, record them. Go to playback buttons, then I typically record this to my second page, and I'll call it Mix 1, Enter. So to rename a playback button, you click on Select, you click on your playback button, you go over to QList Editor, and then you can rename it right over here when you're on Edit Mode. So let's see what the colors are. They are green and blue. So let's say Mix green and blue. Perfect. So then I do a lot of mixed colors, and just to make it a bit easier to not have to select 16 fixtures and click them manually, or to multi-select them. Multi-select is also a very powerful tool if you want to select a few things. So let's say all LEDs are red, but you want LED and let's say LED 4 if it was here. You want them green, and you want both your moving washers are blue. You can select blue here, or let's say green there, and you can say go, and there it will play all the playbacks at the same time. So if you want to release all your playbacks at once, you can right click on snap, or you can click on it and hold it in for a few seconds, and it's now keeping the button in and keeping it depressed. And then you just can click on release, and there all your fixtures or all your playbacks have been released. Then you've got a grandmaster right over here, which is your all-round master for all your intensities and that stuff. So if you turn that down, all the intensities will go to 0. Okay, then the next thing I do is my pan and my tilt. After I've created my mixed colors, let's say I record 3 rows of them, I record all my pan and tilts. So then I select my pan tilt. You can select your fixtures if you like. No need, because you only recorded that pan and tilt. Well, for these 2 fixtures, there's not 10 fixtures that can move around. So you can just actually click on them, and you guys can add a lot more presets in here. There's a lot of presets, and record like a lead singer or a guitarist, drummer, keyboardist, all that stuff. Crowd 1, crowd 2, crowd 3. But for now, I'm just keeping it very simple. So let's move them forward and turn all our intensities on again, as we have just released everything. So as you can see, I'll pan forward now. Playback buttons. Click on record. And then save them. Let's say after 3 rows, I skip a row. Click on that. And then say forward. Then next, I record the forward fanned in. Go to playback buttons. Click on record. Forward fanned in. And then you can record, let's say left. Click on record, playback buttons, left. Perfect. So you can add the rest of them in here. For now, I'm just keeping it quite short, as I do have limited time. So the next thing is the beam angle. So then I select my fixtures, well, not those, the wash. If you want to see when a preset does not have the attributes recorded to it, you can select, let's say, the LED one and go to pan tilt. When they light up gray, they have not been recorded to these presets. So let's select the 2 washes, go over to beam, select center, playback buttons, record. So center, hit enter. And then let's say you want to record not a fully wide or something like that. You can just adjust it manually, or you can record it as a preset if you want to adjust it anytime later in your show, or if you're on tour and need to adapt to something new or change it a little bit, you can always update the preset and it updates all of your cues. So I'm just going to clear that out, and then I'm going to record a wide. Click on record, wide, and then narrow. Perfect. So you can add all your beam angles in here as well. I typically don't do too much beam angles, as I prefer just 2 or 3 of them, as it if you have not a lot of fixtures, kind of look weird, looks a bit weird to me when you change your beam angle the whole time. So I prefer to run them on wide most of the time. Yeah, and there I'll run them for narrow for some specials and stuff like that. But mostly they'll be on wide, just to compensate with the washes and all that stuff. If you had 2 spots perhaps or something like that, it's always nice to have a wide beam angle. Okay, the next thing to add is your movement, your pan and tilt movement, and your color movement, your color effects, and your intensity effects. So let's get going with the pan tilt movement. So let's go play one of those pan tilts. I'm going to play the forward fanned in. So to record effects, you can record effects on any of the attributes. Normally in beam effects, it's normally, as you can see here, fixture blackout, fixture idle, fade time, and then fixture reset, zoom, fixture idle, fixture reset. So I won't recommend running any effects on beam effects. So let's record pan and tilt. Click on effects. As you can see, it's swing pan on pan, swing tilt on pan, etc., etc. So you can set your pan and you can set your tilt, your speed, and you can set your figure. So let's get something going here. So as you can see, they are both moving the same way, the same time. If you want to move them and or change the wave so it can move a bit differently and perhaps invert it or something, you can change your wave. Let's click on wave 2. As you can see, they are moving in different directions now. They both are moving outwards and then both are moving inwards, and not left and right at the same time. So go to playback buttons, open up the keypad, click on record, record them and say left, right, wave. As you can see, they are now yellow as they have been recorded to a playback button and are warning you that they are inactive. So let's set them to 25 and 25 and a circle again. Set the fixed timing to 0. Then we can call it left, right. This is actually a circle, but it's more of a left-right than a circle. It's quite a small circle. I've noticed that the tilt angle is a lot less than the pan angle when you tilt and pan with the effects. Alright. So if you want to record just a pan or just a tilt angle, you can, let's say, set them to 0 as one wave, and you can just add pan or you can just add tilt. So let's just add some pan, and we can speed it up a little bit. Make sure it's a circle or any form you like. I prefer using the circle as I mostly use the swings to adjust my size and what form I like. So we can record this now as left, right only. We can clear this out and we can play our left-right wave. As you can see, it's moving left-right now at a specific speed. So if you want to adjust that speed and later at the evening you perhaps like to turn it up a bit or turn it down a bit, you can select your wash fixtures, go to pan and tilt, effects, turn your speed to maximum. That's very fast. So let's turn it down a bit because the fixtures won't be able to keep up. So let's say 60%. Record that to your main playback and you call it PT speed, short for pan tilt speed. After I've recorded it, you can close these, you can right click on PT speed, change it to override, you can deselect use default and say get current and set. That will make sure that that specific playback starts up at 100% each time you open the show. You can then even go a step further and you can set it to active, and it will always be at your desired speed where you set it here. Next thing I'd like to do is I take the down release off. So let's turn that on quickly and let me show you what it does. So if your fader is at 0, you take it up, you can see it has just activated. And when you take it down, it releases again. So let's deselect that. Double click on it, open it up. And as you can see, if I take it down now, it does not release. So then you can control the speed. It's not going to go slower than the playback you have recorded, so it will go as slow as that playback. If you want it to go slower or to stop it completely without having to release your playback, what you can do is you can select your moving wash, click on pan tilt, effects, stop both of the swings, click on record, click on playback 9, and you can call it PTFX stop. Right click on it, turn it to an override, and you can just use default, get current, set, and you can, no need to change anything here. What I like to do is I turn my down button, my completely lower button, I turn to go, and I turn to release, and I change the second from the top button, I change to release, as the top one is already set to go. So let's run our effects. Let's clear this out quickly. As you can see here, this is now go release, that is go, and that is release, or you can do it here with release and with go. So it's running the effect now. I click on go release, and it stops. The down is go. As soon as you let go of the button, they continue doing what they have done. Perfect. So let's clear that out. And then we can record color effects stop. So what you need to do is click on color, link your parameters, click on link all your parameters, click on effects, click on stop. We can deselect link, and you can now see all the parameters have been stopped. Let's go to the wash, and you can see all the parameters have been stopped. Perfect. But white has not been stopped, so let's stop white as well, as I did not link white. So let's stop white, and only the washes have white. Oopsie, stop white as well. There we go, so we have just stopped all the color effects. So let's record that, but let's record it as a preset, and we call it color effects stop. Enter. Clear that out. Let's go to intensity and do the same for intensity. Select all the fixtures. Intensity, effects, stop. Whoopsie. Record. Intensity, effects, stop. Clear it out, and then just record them to the playback. Intensity, effects, stop. Color effects stop. Whoopsie. Color effects stop. Great. You'll need to change this over to an override as well. The overrides have higher priority than cue lists. So that means they are just able to take a bit more higher priority than them and are actually able to stop all the effects or whatever you like it to do above the cue lists. So let's change this to an override. go release, change this to release as well, and do the same. I'll change this to release. Whoops, I need to change it to override first. I wondered why it looks so weird. But yes, go and release. Perfect. Clear that out. I have not changed the default 0%, as you can change that yourself. So if you open this up, and then you can see it has changed to go release, go release, go release. That I have not changed, as you will not go release this fader. So then what we can do is we can record some effects for the LEDs and for the moving wash. If you like, you can record them together and record them to all these playbacks. I normally do it on the next page, so you can do it for all the lights together, or you can do it just for separate lights. So let's say just for the LEDs or just for the wash fixtures. I prefer to do it combined. It just keeps it a little bit more neat and a little bit more together. So let's go into the effects program, and then we can do a rainbow wave. Click on rainbow wave and go back to the programmer. As you can see, all the fixtures are moving or changing their colors consecutively. So let's record this to the playback buttons. Click record. Let's record them over here and say rainbow wave all. Clear that out. So another thing I want to show you is, as you can see, the parameters are still linked. So you can deselect a link each time, or you can go into menu, go to general, preferences, go down. As you can see, channel linking, auto reset linking, automatically resets channel linking when the programmer is cleared. So you can turn that on, and after you've cleared the programmer, it will reset the linking and turn it off. Okay, so let's do this again. Select your fixtures, or you can select them in the 2D plane. Go to effects program, click record, dark blue cyan wave. You can see they are doing a dark blue cyan wave. Record that. Dark blue cyan wave. Clear out. We can do a red white wave. They are doing a red white wave. Ooh, what's going on here? Let's clear it out again quickly. Let's see what's wrong here. Washing. Ooh, I selected the wrong wash. So let's do a red white wave again. That'll work fine now. If you want to, you can go change the speed or change the swing. Let's possibly make it a bit slower. So let's record it a bit slower, this one. Red, white, wave, enter, clear out. Oh, let's just reset that. Clear out. So there your effects have been recorded. You can record that for all your effects. Whatever you like, you can create your own effects by linking channels. And let's say you turn your fixtures green and you want blue to go 50% on a certain BPM. You can do that via the programmer. So let me show you something more intricate about the effects programming. So let's select the moving wash and the LEDs. Go to the red white wave. Something a lot powerful, or very powerful, is the grouping tools and the wave per X. So let's turn the wave per X to 6. As you can see, it's running through them now. Let's turn that off. Go to grouping tools, and we can fan them per group. There's 4 groups now. I'm not sure where, well, a total of 4 groups, but we're going to fan them 2 groups, and you can make them jump between the 2 groups. If we do it 4 groups, yeah, it will still stay the same. Perfect. So we can record that as well. Click click on record, playback buttons, red, white, wave, fan. Clear out, program, fix program, select them again. Dark blue, cyan, wave, go to grouping tools again. Fan, mirror per X, go to the programmer. As you can see, they're doing it consecutively now at the same time. And let's change this. As you can see, it's doing it very weird now, but a bit random. Change it to 3 and 3 and let's see what it does. So yeah, you can play around with the grouping tools and figure out what all of them do. You can mirror them, divide them. You can do it by a block of X, every X. And all those effects you could fan as well. So let's clear this out. You can create all of the stunning effects you like and your heart desires. I just created a few basic things for now. The next thing I'd like to show you what I do is I create my effects for my, just color stomps for, color bumps, let's call it color bumps, for all my colors. So what I do is I select my fixtures, turn them to full, I don't select pan and tilt it because it looks quite weird when your fixtures jump left and right the whole time when you want to bump the color. So intensity and color, and then I select my color, and then I color stomp, stop my effects on my color and stop my effects on my intensity. No need to stop the pan and tilt effects. Record that and let's call it red, and then do it for green, and then do it for blue. Perfect. I'm just going to do red, green, and blue as previously. Clear out my programmer, turn them to override, use default, get current, set, change that to release, change the bottom one to go and release. Same for the next one. Use default, get current, set, change this to release, go and release. Override. I don't know what it says back there. Release, go and release. Use default, get current, set. Perfect. You can add all the rest of your colors you like. I prefer to keep it to one bank, otherwise it gets quite messy. If you have a InTouch or a console, you can record to these buttons as well. If you're just using the screen or a touch screen or something like that, I prefer to keep it to the main playback, as you can still use the pop-up screen to add your main playback fader or anything else they have for you here. Like let's say we add a submaster. You can record your intensities to the submaster, but I prefer to keep the stuff to the main playback as it's a bit easier and it's on the screen the whole time and I don't need to page around that much. So let's just add the main playback, close that. And then gobos and that stuff, if you have gobos, you can add them in anywhere on the screen if you like. And then intensity effects will be the last thing we are going to cover. So you can do a combined intensity effect or you can do separate intensity effects. So let's do a combined one. We do an intensity effect. We do a maximum. Let's take the speed to 28 BPMs. Record that. So that's a fade. Playback buttons. So let's record intensity effects. Okay, so another thing I prefer to do after I've recorded my effects is to add my waves right here. So what I do is I select all my fixtures. I'll link my channels, link and link, 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 and link. And then what you can do is you can change your wave. So let's say the wave of 1 and record wave 1. So let's say wave. You can keep this as a cue list or change it to override. I'd recommend changing it to an override, but a cue list will work. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what I do is I clear out, select them again, and then I select my color, link all the channels, and I link my intensity with that. And then I go to effects, I record my normal sine wave, form, and then I call it the jump effect. But I suppose there is a better name, so I clear that out. So as you can see now, I'm just going to add some effects over here. Let's add intensity effect, and let's add a color effect. Go back to the program as you can see them doing it. So now you can add a waveform. So it's going to fade now, and now it's going to jump. Then you can add a wave for the pan and tilt, and for the color. So that's just to make it a bit easier, and not to record like 20 effects or 40 effects just to add in the waveforms. I found this to be the easiest to control. What you can do as well is you can record your colors, but you can add intensity to your colors, and you can just record an inhibitive to your main playback to be like your master fader for your intensity to if you want to black out your fixture or something like that. You can just you can add all your attributes you like to one cue list, if that's found easier for you, but I prefer to keep it a bit more separated. Then you have more control over the show and you can adapt a lot quicker. So as you can see, I've recorded color effects, intensity effects, PT effects, and my pan tilt speed. These are all the stops for all the effects, to stop all the effects, and this is the speed. You can now still go and add your color effects speed and your intensity effects speed. And then you already have your stops, so you can move this around. You don't need to have everything on the first bank. So let's go to bank 2. Another thing I add in is I go to the programmer, I select just my effect lighting, I turn them to 0, so I turn them off. I turn the intensity effects off and I turn the color effects off. So I stop all of that. I record them and I record a off as a cue list. Right click on it, change it to an override. Use default, get current, set, function assignments, go, release, and then I clear it out. There we go. And now, now you can turn your lights off, turn them back on. That color is just because the values in the program have been changed, and the fixture is at blue. That does not bother you because they are off. The intensity is at 0. As you can see, the black circle in the middle. If you let go of the button again, they will continue where they were. Perfect. So that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in and watching the video. Much appreciated.
Hey everybody, David back here again. I hope you enjoyed that video from JP, and if you're new to band lighting or new to MPC or lighting really in any context, I hope that was helpful to you. If you're looking for more resources on MPC, go check out our full page on getting started with MPC over on LearnStageLighting.com. I'll see you guys over on the site, and of course, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. Thanks.